And we are live. Welcome everybody to the 24-Hour Marketing Mastermind. We hope you are having a great day. We hope you got your favorite beverage with you, even though my cup is empty again. I can't believe I forgot it. But hope that you're doing well. And I'm just watching that we're actually going live, and I can see myself on the left-hand side. So it's a little bit disturbing watching me. I hate watching me. Don't you hate watching you? It's horrible. But we've got an interesting hangout for you today. We're actually going to be doing some Facebook training, which is going to help you with your business, with your life, and with anything you really want to put out there. And we're going to get into that a bit later. But before we get into that, we've got a couple of things we want to run through. And first of all, I just wanted to go and introduce the panel, as we always do. If this is your first time watching us, we want to welcome you. And please say hello in the chat so we can give you a shout out and let you know that we actually do see you. A lot of the times when I was on Hangouts watching training, just like you're watching right now, no one would see me. I would comment as much as I wanted to, but no one would actually see me. And yet I have to comment until somebody actually said your name. So we do take special pride in the fact that we like to say hello to you, recognize who you are, and so we can actually greet you and get to know you a bit better. And of course, you can always get hold of us after the Hangout and have a conversation with us as well. But for those of you who don't know, this is a training webinar where we share our experiences with you, because we have managed to build our businesses online, and we want to share that with the world. We want to show you that it actually can happen. All right. I live in South Africa. I run my own business online. I don't work for anybody else. And I'm sure all the members on this Hangout can attest to the fact, because I'm always on my computer. I don't really have time to go out and work for somebody else. All right. So that's just one of the things that I do. And let's go through the panel and find out how everybody is doing. We'll start off with Miss Katie Stage. I call her Katie Kate because it's so easy to say and so nice to say. So Katie Kate, how you doing there? How are things going?
Real good. Thanks, Davey Dave. It's the first time I called you that, but doing really good. Thanks for asking. It's officially summer in Minnesota, and as we were talking before we hit live, is that we got about 2 weeks. I think Pops is stealing his thunder on his joke, but he says in 2 weeks' time, maybe about 2.5 weeks, we're actually going to be on the road again in the RV, and it's going to be where we have to take our turns putting on the mic. And taking our turns for the mic, because when we're in the same room, when we're in this on the panel like this, it gets a lot of feedback, so it just kind of messes things up. So I think that's just going to be exciting. I'm excited, but I'm also not in a hurry too, because I really love spending the time with my nieces. And tomorrow is going to be the first time that the babysitter, after it's been about 3 weeks to about a month since she's had the baby, so it's going to be interesting. She's going to do a trial run while my sister and I kind of gets lost, and we're going to go somewhere else while the babysitter is going to see, test the waters to see if she can handle all 4 kids. So wish her luck. So back to you in the studio.
Awesome. And for those of you who don't know, Katie and her dad, they go out RVing around the States, which is great, because they managed to be able to do this because they're building their business online, which is an incredible thing. And Jamie is a guy that he runs his own business online doing IT, and he's used all strategies that we talk about here to help him with his business as well. And he has become super successful doing that. And so just want to introduce Jamie quickly. And so Jamie, tell us how you're doing. How's your week been, man?
My week's been so, because yesterday I spent all day hanging drywall because I remodeled a room upstairs, and I'm putting trim on putting trim on, and it was about 8:30 last night, and I smacked my finger with a hammer and got a blood blister, and it exploded underneath my fingernail, and it's been hurting all day. I need to go. It's hard to type now and develop HTML code and stuff with a bad finger, a bum finger. So especially when I had a Band-Aid on it earlier, it was really hard. But yeah, I mean, I kind of looked back at my business here, about a month or so ago, and I decided I needed to focus more on what I'm good at, developing websites, fixing computer stuff like that, and I'm always taking computer classes, so that's no big deal. So I decided to jump into a full course of HTML, CSS, PHP, JavaScript, and jQuery. And it's actually exciting and it's actually fun, and I'm having a good time relearning HTML and CSS, which I've known how to do in the past, but PHP and the JavaScript's kind of new to me. So it's some programming that I don't know, so it's nice and fun and to learn. And what's cool about it is I'm having fun doing it, so that makes it all the more exciting. So that's kind of my week so far, starting out pretty good.
Oh yeah, Jamie, just a reminder, when you're actually using a hammer, you got to hit the right nail. It's you can't go and be hitting the wrong nail. And I actually have a great joke. Then you say to people, "Hey man, I was going across the highway and I saw the hammer for." People say, "What's the hammer for?" And you say, "For hitting a nail, silly." Anyway, so that's just a little joke. I'm sorry. I just wanted to put it out there. But with that being said, Pops, how are things going with you? I believe it's been as well blistering hot there. It's like 87 degrees Fahrenheit. We use Celsius, so I have no idea what that is. But I believe it's quite hot. You can probably fry an egg on the pavement, right?
No. Not like it's going to be in Austin when we get there. Now in Austin, we'll be able to fry an egg on the sidewalk for sure. Now, actually, it's been pretty nice. Yesterday was a little warm. It was 87 with a 93 heat index, which isn't that bad. But you talk to my son, and he sweats at 60, so whatever. It's all relative. I thought it was kind of nice. Yeah, I don't mind the heat. Since I've been on the road and I missed last winter here, first time I've been without an entire winter, and I have really turned into a freeze baby. It's unbelievable. When it gets cold, I don't like it anymore. I would rather be in the South, and I'm going to be in the South again. And talking about construction, my dad, whenever we were working on stuff, he would make a little mistake on cutting a board. He said, "Dang it, I cut it twice and it's still too short. What the heck?" Oh, that dude was funny. So it's been glorious up here. I'm going to miss it when we leave, when I leave. I don't know if Katie's going to be able to come back up here before we actually pack up and go, or if I'm going to have to pack it all up myself and then hook up myself and drive down and pick up, and then something won't be right, and I'll hear about it. That belongs over there. That belongs over there. Because we have our space, and I'll have to deal with her space a little bit before we leave if she's not here to help me, and I don't want to screw up her space. But anyway, it's been marvelous, and I talked to my MLM sponsor today. Actually, I haven't talked to him for a while. It was awesome, and he is not going to be at our event in Austin. He chose not to do that, but he's going to be at our company event in Phoenix, so I'll get to hook up with him there, and that's exciting. He's really a great guy, and he's kind of had his business on hold like I did for different reasons. Mine to study personal coaching, and since graduated from that, and that's awesome. So I really enjoy that part of my life now, but I want to get pumped up into my MLM as well, because it's an awesome product. And of course, the residual income is awesome. That's even more awesome. So I've got a lot more work to do. And once I get out of here, I'll have the time to do it, because I stay busy with working on the motel in exchange for staying here, and just an agreement we had. And it turned into one thing and then another and then another and another, as they do. So I'm looking forward to skedaddle. So anyway, yeah, it's awesome. I love this part of the country too. Back to the studio.
Awesome, awesome. And yeah, I was just thinking, I mean, like, he was saying all that stuff about packing up the van. It's a good thing Rockin Rick isn't here, because he'd be like, yeah, I can't be packing up all the stuff and going over there, because man, that means I got to do stuff, and I don't want to, that's just gonna be painful. Yeah, 'cause
Oh, just so you know that Dave is really good at impressions. So that was actually pretty good. So Ricky is actually in Boston area. So that was really good. And he talks like that. So it's really,
Yep.
You should do an
Yep.
impression of me, Dave. Just do an impression of me if you have enough hair.
All right. All right. Anyway, so we want to address a specific subject today, and I wanted to share something a little bit personal. I've never shared this with anybody, let alone online. But I was just wondering if perhaps anybody here or somebody who's watching has ever had a friend or somebody in their life that for some reason always keeps hanging around them. Somebody that's always just there. Nothing you can do about it. Something you can say to the person, you know what, I really feel like we shouldn't be friends because you're actually irritating me quite a bit. For some reason, my entire life, I have managed to attract and I say this, my late cousin used to say, he always used to attract projects in his life. For some reason, he always attracted the person with the biggest problems. And I had someone like that in my life that I could never get rid of this person. It didn't matter if I didn't call them, they would call me. I didn't contact them in a month, they would still call me. Doesn't matter what I did. And I think one of the main reasons I was irritated by this person was because he was very similar to me. And often when that happens, you can't really stay with each other too long. Otherwise, you're going to kill each other. And because this person had a way of speaking when he really believed in something, he just had to believe it, and nobody else could convince him of anything else. And back then, I had a very, very strong will in the sense that I was right all the time, and he was right all the time. So we had a lot of arguments, and he would just frustrate the heck out of me. Now, in retrospect, I've got to say I actually owe a lot to this person, because if it weren't for them, I probably wouldn't be in the position I am today. Because I found out after getting to know him, after him coming back from overseas, that he actually started his own little business online. And I really wanted to do that. That was something I really wanted to do. And despite the fact that he was irritating, despite the fact that he really just gnawed on me and kind of just took the life out of me every time I'd go and visit him, it would feel like I'd just run a marathon. It was just so exhausting being around this person. Not because he was a bad person, but just because it was just so frustrating trying to get your point across when he was trying to disprove everything you said. But he was on this online kick, and I decided that I was going to find out about this whole thing about the online deal anyway. So I would go and visit as often as I could. And when I say it often as I could, it would be like every 2 weeks. And then after that, it was every 3 weeks. And then after that, it was every month and a week. But I would go and visit this person and ask him a lot of questions about what he was actually doing. And the main reason I'm sharing this is because I want you to realize that if you want something bad enough, or if you want something that is that you can see but you can't have it, it might just be that you're missing out on an opportunity. I believe, and I'm sure Pops would agree with me, being the oldest in the group here, that there are so many opportunities around us that we just fail to take advantage of. We don't see them because we're looking for something else. And I would hazard a guess that if you look hard enough, you would actually see an opportunity waiting for you. And if you're on this webinar, well, hint, hint, all right? Hint, hint. This is something that you should be looking forward to. What we're going to be sharing with you today is actually quite extraordinary. And I want to tell you that when I first got started online, had I known about this very thing that we're going to talk about tonight, I probably would have shot up a lot quicker than I did. It took me roughly about almost 3 years when I first got started to get a lot of momentum in my business, but mainly because I found a strategy that actually worked. And it wasn't just a strategy for the sake of doing a strategy. What I did is I found something I loved and I wanted to share it with the world. So I had something I really loved. And for me back then, it was my trading and my knowledge on what I used in the trading market and the stock market. And I wanted to share that with everybody else in the form of doing reviews on different programs. And what I did is I took that passion of mine and I shared it with the world. And I had a strategy, and it's called the SAM method that I use. And I put it up on YouTube, and I did these videos again and again and again. And this wasn't a live recording. This wasn't anything like this. These were recorded videos that I had made, that I uploaded, that I tweaked a little bit, that I put up online. And I constantly did the strategy for the longest of times until I got a result. Now, in today's market, the thing that is really hot right now and the thing that is really going places right now is Facebook Live. Facebook Live today is amazing, all right? If you have the ability to go on Facebook Live, then you have a tremendous opportunity in front of you. And this is what I'm trying to talk about. Pops, am I correct in saying that there are plenty of opportunities, but we just don't see them?
Yeah, they're everywhere. Most of the time we're walking around in a daze, instead of being aware of, like present in our own lives. A lot of people walk around kind of in a like hypnotized by like asleep because you don't have your eyes open. You're thinking about this, you're thinking about that. Mostly the past, sometimes in the future, instead of thinking about the present moment. And at that point, you're not going to see some of these things correctly. And so you miss them entirely. But if you're in the moment, in the present moment, a lot of things that come up, you'll see. And even if it just hits you in the head, sometimes you just go, ouch, and move on. So yeah, there's all kinds of opportunities out there for people that doesn't cost very much, or it doesn't take a lot of time. They're all over the place.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, and a lot of the times we miss out on that because we're just so focused on our problem, isn't it? I mean, we're focused on us. We're focusing on, we're very internal. We're not really worried about anybody else. And I think, I was just watching an interview today by Jerry Lewis, and he was saying that one of the biggest things he's learned in his life at the age of 90, I mean, he recently passed away, but he was saying that he started to realize that gratitude was one of the most important things of his life, and sharing gratitude with people and appreciating the people around you. And I think when you start to appreciate the people around you, that's when you get a sense of trying to find a way where you can help other people, trying to find a way where you can actually be a positive force in somebody's life. And it's really about that. When you start providing value to other people, that's when you start to make a real difference. And I'll illustrate this in this form. If you have $100, if you take $100 or $50, all right? If you take $50, take $50 and go to a complete stranger and give them $50. I guarantee you that in that moment of giving them the $50, it's impossible. It's impossible to feel bad. It's impossible. You can't do it because you're helping somebody else. In that moment, I'm not talking about, buyer's remorse or anything like that. I'm saying in that moment, even if you gave somebody some food, if you gave somebody something that was of value to somebody else, in that moment, you are far more valuable than you were a few seconds ago. And here's the trick, is the more you do that, the more you provide value for other people, that's when things start to change. Because when you do it over and over and over again, you begin to form a habit. And when you begin to form a habit, the firing mechanisms in your brain start to rewire themselves, and you start to think a little bit differently. Because now you understand that, hey, you know what? If I do this, my life gets a little bit better. And that's just universal law. What do you guys think? Anybody else want to comment?
Couldn't find the unmute button. I guess apparently not.
What? Sorry? Did I miss?
Yes, we said apparently not. I don't think anybody else has anything to add to that. So
Okay, cool. That was
make it
great.
any simpler than that, really.
All right, no, that's fine. You know, and this is something where, and I'm talking about this because if you're watching this and if you want to get a business going, if you want to get something going where you can actually start to earn a living online, your biggest priority is to find something that you absolutely love. Find something that you adore. And Jamie was just saying this, that the things he really loves, he loves computers, he loves designing websites, he loves doing that type of thing. And what has he done? He's taken what he loves and he's turned it into something he can share with other people. A place where you can actually provide value for others online and sharing what he knows with other people. That's what brings him joy. That's what actually moves him and motivates him and gets him going, gets him up in the morning. You get something you love and you share it with the world. Now, what we want to do tonight is we want to actually give you a strategy. We want to give you something that you can actually take and use for yourself. And the best part about this part of the webinar is that this will become free of charge. This is free of charge. You're going to be hearing something that Katie's going to be sharing, all right? Because Katie is just on fire the last couple of weeks. She's just been amazing with all the training. And don't shake your head at me. Anyway, and I just want to say that this stuff is amazing. If you can utilize Facebook Live in your business and take on what Katie is teaching you about she's going to be teaching you the 7 tips about Facebook marketing that's going to help you. And I've got my pen and my paper here because I want to take some notes and I want to learn from that. Then you can take this and actually apply it to something you love and that you appreciate and you can share with other people. So Katie, what I want you to do is I'm going to send this over to you. The floor is yours and we're at your mercy. Go for it. I'm throwing the studio back to you.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. I made myself some decaf coffee, so that's awesome. I actually created a fun little slide for everybody. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to present here. All right. So I have this fun little slide I put together, these 7 Facebook Live tips, and right away my OCD is saying that the word Facebook is off kiltered and it's going to bother me. I apologize. I'll move on. So just to let you know, by the way, I have been doing Facebook Live since early 2016, and I did them for a while, and it's kind of funny. I'm wearing that same shirt in the picture right now. That's actually hilarious. But I've been doing Facebook Live since early 2016. When Facebook first came out with Facebook Lives, just you guys can hear me, right? You guys can see it. You guys can hear me. You guys can see the slide and stuff.
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yes.
Thanks. But anyways, it first went out to certified celebrity pages, of course, just to see how it would go, and then it started to slowly come out to the public, so then everybody can do Facebook Lives. first it came out video, then the audio first came, then the audio came after that. But then I never got the audio, but then it came and then went again, so I'm not really sure. But I like video. I like video is super, super important, guys, that because it's so much easier and so quicker to create. Take it from me, from someone who has done a ton of, you know, copywriting, emails, doing launches and product launches and all this other stuff where you have to write and like do these things. It's a lot simpler to cut a video than it is to write a copy. So just to let you know that it's a lot simpler. Do I say just do video and not do any writing? I say no, because even though nowadays it's so much easier to write a blog post, you don't have to do that 2,000 word blog post. You can do a Facebook Live, and then you can put your Facebook Live video in your blog post with some text, and it's just as good. People will love that. You get best of both worlds, where you get people who are readers and then people who want to watch the video. Just to give you a little bit of some of my Facebook Lives that I've done. The top left, actually a couple of weeks ago, I had that. That's an old screenshot, but I had some engagement. I mean, I've had some shares, I've had some comments, and then on the bottom right was just this last Thursday, was pretty good engagement on a lot of things. So what I'm not like the type of person where I'm not going to promise you that you're going to have like 300 people show up on your live at the time, because I'm going to be honest with you. Depending on the time that you do your live you're going to leverage that time in order to, you know, understand that time to get the most engagement and live viewers. And the way that Facebook works is that they love to promote Facebook Lives, so that ranks higher than any other video form. Even if you organically upload upload a video onto Facebook, sure, you may get some viewers or whatever, but it's always good to do a live, and then Facebook is just going to like tell everybody that you just did a live, and it's just going to be on top of everybody's news feed so they can watch it, because Facebook wants to promote this and they want to keep promoting this. So my view count on a live when people show up, it varies all the time. Sometimes I only get 3. Sometimes I get 16. Some, you know, it's different all the freaking time. And when you do, you're totally done. It doesn't even matter. Okay, the view count doesn't matter of how many people are going to show up. The replay is where everybody starts showing up and they want to watch it, because there's people all around the world that you may be friends with that are sleeping in the middle of the night when you did a Facebook Live in your evening or something like that, right? Or in the late afternoon. But the point is that I want you guys to start doing Facebook Lives. And I think it's really important, like I said, because it puts yourself out there and saying, hey, you know what? This is me. This is who I am. I've been in the game for a little, even if you haven't been in the game for a little while and you just want to do a Facebook Live, this training here is going to help you feel more comfortable and confident I'm just going to give you 7 tips, just 7 quick tips on how to do these Facebook Lives, and to help smooth it out and have a certain awesome flow to your Facebook Live so you feel more confident. And I have to tell you, I did this type of training 2 years ago when I first started Facebook Live, and I saw that opportunity, and I ranked it up on YouTube. I get a whole bunch. I still get leads today because I sell a product for Facebook, right? But I still get leads today from that video. But my point is I'm doing another one today because, you know, I've learned a lot. I've learned a lot of mistakes. I've you know, have a couple of other things that I wanted to share with you in my experience of doing Facebook Lives now. But the tips haven't really changed much, because I have to tell you that when you understand how marketing works, it doesn't matter what platform you're on, it's still going to be the same. There's going to be a formula that you're going to follow, and I'll go over this a little bit later. But there's a formula that you will follow that doesn't matter where you are. You can do, I think Twitter does Twitter does live as well, or something like that. They came out with that, like, what, last year or something like that. And you have Instagram stories and you have Instagram live. You know, it's all the same. right? It's just you have to understand marketing and ask yourself, why am I doing this live in the first place? Okay. I just wanted to let you know that there is a free bonus gift on this page that you're watching. It is more live stream information where there's a 5-part live video script to get viewers engaged, like, comment, and share your live video. Now, I'm just going to go ahead and point out, by the way, that I have 4 shares, 4 shares, 6 shares, and then 8 shares. I have 2 pages, pardon me, I have 2 pages that I own. 2 of those were mine, but I don't ask people to share my video. They just do it because it's good stuff, right? It's good. But the point is that you get more people to share your video, especially when you tell them to share it. There's a Facebook Live demo. Literally, you watch 2 genius marketers go live and swipe through their Go Viral Live secrets. That's really important. I mean, this is super, like, a lot of information, more information than I'm going through, because this is just my experience that I'm going through. But, you know, this dives more deeper into it. There's how to schedule your lives and take a promotion formula to guarantee you get viewers to your live. There's a ninja top secret on how to add your viewers to your Messenger subscribe list, which is ManyChat. And, you know, when they comment on your live, hashtag OMG. So it's really good stuff. This is free. It's a free gift for you guys for watching this on this page. So make sure you download that PDF file, go through the, there's a video as well. So it's a 2-hour masterclass and a PDF download. I think the best part, I mean, not only is it free, but you get that 5-part live video script, because in this industry, it's always a good idea to follow a script, especially when you're new, and you kind of get your feet wet. And then all of a sudden you start finding your voice and you start finding your personality, and then you can start going off on your own, the stuff that you've learned. So it becomes a good habit. So scripts are good, but you don't want to rely on those scripts for the rest of your life, that kind of thing. So you want to add your own little personality, but you don't get that free gift. That's important. So Facebook Live, I have to tell you, it is the #1 thing most people shy away from. And there's a couple of reasons. They either think it's too technical, or they think they have to have the latest gadgets. Now, I know a lot of people, you know, now that they have OBS, they have a platform where you can actually write text on your video. And then they also have, they finally came out with the Facebook Live on your desktop. So, and then you can like mirror your image so you're not backwards. You know, there's all this fancy stuff that you can make your lives look crisp and like the most professional video ever and just look like a total pro. But I'm telling you, you don't need to have that, because all you need is a cell phone. That's it. And let me just tell you a quick story about, everybody probably knows who Eric Warre is. He's the GoPro guy. And when he first started in video marketing, he bought thousands of dollars of, video equipment and studio equipment. And he realized when he's doing his Facebook Lives, when you guys go out on Facebook and maybe, you know, go to the network, you know, GoPro or even search Eric Warre Network Marketing Pro, you'll find his Facebook page. He goes on live on that all the time, and his personal page too. But the point is every time you see him on his live, it's just his cell phone, and he's walking around, he's talking to you like a normal human being. And all of his stuff that he invested in and thousands of dollars that he invested in all these tools are just collecting dust in his closet, because he realizes that going on Facebook Live with just your cell phone, that's it. Because simplicity is what works. Okay. So you don't have to take all that effort to do all this stuff. So like I said before, Facebook Live takes a lot less effort than writing something. A lot of people who want to either stick with the 85 characters or less Facebook posts, so the words get, you know, the enlarged words or something like that. Anything after, like, I think 85 characters, the text gets a little bit smaller. And people, once that started, and the backgrounds too, once that started to come out, a lot of people took that as, okay, I can get more noticed. But what happens is that you start getting kind of drowned out and look like everybody else. You're kind of drowning in that sea of sameness, if that makes sense. So you want to stick out, and the only way to stick out is nobody can be like you if they can see your face, right? Nothing's better than a Facebook Live. Anybody can write. But to do this is what I love about Facebook. This is what I love about YouTube. And this is what I love blogging, because no one can fake that, because that's all you. Instagram, people have, you're not really sure if it's them or not, because it's just pictures, right? It's just pictures or text or something like that. And then Twitter, you know, they do video that's good, but it's just like Facebook post. You know, Twitter's the same thing. If you do just text, you're not sure if they're, you know, because there's a lot of people who, I'm not trying to knock this or judge anybody who uses these, but there's a lot of people who use those auto posting to post people. You could do that on Facebook, but Facebook says, they actually literally call them out saying, hey, they used a scheduling tool to put this post out there. And it just kind of takes away from, you know, the heart of the whole thing, where, yes, I want to be here because I want to be here. Kind of takes that away. It kind of just like, oh, well, maybe she didn't really want to write right now or something. I'm not really sure exactly. But what I'm saying is that Facebook Live is amazing. And it's so, you know, simplicity works, and it's so simple. You just do a Facebook Live and you're done. And you can get a ton of leads. I get leads on every single Facebook Live I do. I get leads. Even on the replay, I still get leads. I get sales from a Facebook Live. I've actually get a whole bunch of shares, like I said before. So I'm just letting you know that this does work. It works because people trust you more, because they can see you, they can interact with you live, and it's exciting. So let's go to the tips. Facebook Live tip number 1 is that you do not wait for viewers or to people to hop on live. So you want to respect people's time. I've seen this many, many times in the past. I still see people do this today, where they're hopping on. I hop on their Facebook Live, I catch them right away, and we're kind of sitting there. It kind of sucks to be sitting there waiting with you. So we're kind of sitting there waiting, kind of, okay, we're gonna start here in a minute. They're like looking away and maybe typing on something or something, and then they're like, okay, we're just waiting for like a certain amount of people to hop on or something so they can get with the content. Well, you know, people have things to do, and we're very, very busy. I'm sure you're very busy. So respect people's time, and don't wait for anybody to show up on your Facebook Live. It also sucks for the person who is watching the replay, and they have to try to move the bar a little bit and try to fast forward to that, which is cool that we get to do that, but it still sucks. So don't wait for viewers. Yeah.
It also affects your posture, you know, as a marketer. Mm-hmm. When you're waiting on other people and you're saying, I'm not going to go forward until you listen to me. Yeah. It's a little obnoxious, but it's kind of, and it's, I mean, I've seen people do this when they also just getting started for the very first time ever. And they're like, I'm just waiting for viewers. And posture is so important for this. So I like this point, because it indicates that, you know, when you get into this game, you've got to realize that you can't wait for other people. You've got to carry on despite the fact. You can't just wait around for other people to say, okay, now I'm ready. But if you're making your video and you're just going ahead and doing it, you're presenting an image of confidence. You're presenting an image of, you know what, I'm going to do this, and I don't care if you get left behind. That's the whole attitude you need to have. That's what people respect. People respect confidence. They respect somebody who's sure of themselves. But if you're waiting for other people, you know, unless you've got thousands and thousands and thousands of people following you, you really, you know, it doesn't look like you know what you're doing. Anyway, I just wanted to.
No, that's a really great point. And I think that's a great point. I'm glad you brought that up, because it's all about that posture. So it's really important there. Let me just share my screen again. I just wanted to put that screen on you so everybody can see you. But yeah, you brought up a really great point, because it is all, even if you do have thousands of followers, it's chances are, if you wait for people and people just don't have that time, they're just going to go follow someone else who's going to get to the content really fast. If I knew how to snap, that would be the snapping sound. But people want to get on with it, because they want to learn, and they want to keep, and they want to get their day going and get what they need, right? Get their content fix. Tip number 2 is hashtags. This is a great way to identify your immediate hot market. So if someone's coming on a Facebook Live, you're maybe not even, they're following you and they're not even connected with you as a friend on Facebook. I've had this happen, and they hashtag something, right, that I gave them a call to action. And it's a cold market that turned into a hot market just by a Facebook Live. It happens. And the examples would be right away. I'm going to actually go through this a little bit later on my little guideline to help you flow through your Facebook Live. An example would be right in the beginning, you tell people, hey, welcome to the Facebook Live. If you're here, go ahead and tell me where you're from. And if you're watching the replay, do a hashtag replay in the comments because I want to give you a shout out. That's what you say. So that's a great example for a hashtag to use that. Then it gets people to comment. Because there's a lot of times where people are, they do this, they scroll, but I've done this because I already, I've done this so many times where, because I know that on their Facebook Live, they kind of wait around for people. So I kind of come back later when they actually get to the grid of the content. But I would just like come back and then, later or whatever, but I wouldn't comment anything. And they never tell me to say, hey, hashtag replay and whatnot. So I'm like in and out, and then I come back and then maybe I'll get into the content, or maybe I forget. Maybe I don't even come back because the content isn't good. That happens, whatever. Something that I'm not interested in. But anyway, so there's, if you have a training that you want to give away, you do hashtag training. Like we have a ton of training in our community here that we've built up a library of information within our community here. We have Facebook training, Twitter training, we have YouTube training, all of that. So you can do hashtag some kind of training, which is, whatever that is. Maybe you have a webinar that you want people to opt into, hashtag webinar. The people who comment hashtag something, you get to contact them in Messenger and say, hey, thank you for watching the Facebook Live today. You did a hashtag, here's the information that you, per your request on the webinar. Or maybe we're talking about a workshop. So you hashtag workshop, then people are interested in that. If you got a training for email or Facebook or ManyChat, or I was just being funny, hashtag. Say if I'm doing a Facebook Live and I'm teaching this and I say, put in hashtag if you understand what I'm saying. So then people are listening, right? Don't be obnoxious like that, like what I just said. But the point is, use hashtags because then you know exactly who your target market is, and they're going to be a hot target because you're going to, like I said, message them in Messenger and give them the information that they requested. So it's pretty cool. Tip number 3. So here's the thing. There's a lot of people who are asking around about these Facebook Lives and how long, how short, what's too long for Facebook Lives. In my personal opinion, there's no actual rules on the length as long as your audience is expecting it. Of 4-minute Facebook Lives, yes, we do. Do we appreciate a complete 4-hour Facebook Live training that goes over some amazing content? Of course we do, as long as we're expecting it. However, the 15-minute stream time, that's the sweet spot. Because what happens when Facebook Live goes live, you go live on your Facebook, it takes a couple minutes for people to find you. Because the notification pops on. Maybe you hit the button to invite a whole bunch of people. I'm going to take a drink of water real quick. Maybe, people are, they're busy doing something or something. They have to wrap it up for a couple of seconds because they're excited to go see your Facebook Live. So they got to save their work and then get their headphones on and get on, try to get onto your Facebook Live. And that's why, you don't want to wait for them. You want to get into the content right away, like I said in tip number 1. But you want to do 15 minutes of stream time. So that means the intro, giving people the shout outs and stuff like that, and getting into the content and then doing your call to action, that kind of thing. All from start to finish, 15 minutes is the sweet spot, I feel. Not too long, not too short. Got some good content. You're having conversations with people. So do you have to do 15 minutes? Do you all of a sudden you have 3 tips to share and you only get to number 2, 15 minutes, I got to shut out, I got to shut this off because it's already 15 minutes. No, this is a very loose kind of, rule, but somewhere around 15 minutes is great. You get 10 minutes, that's fine. If you get 20 minutes, that's okay. But what I'm trying to get at is that you don't want to go too short, or you don't really share much, but you want to go, you know, you don't want to go too long unless they expect it. Okay. Tip number 4 is that I use notes and bullet points all the time. When I first started my Facebook Live, my sayings on my Facebook Live is like, yes, I have my notes. I showed my, you know, my audience my notes, my notebook, and I told them I have to. I tell them because I'm outside, because a lot of times I was outside doing Facebook Live, and I said, I'm outside. There could be a squirrel that can come right behind me at any moment, and I would have a squirrel moment. Right. And people loved it, you know, so I'm like, I have to have these notes. This is what I'm doing. You can literally tell them I'm looking down because I have notes. Don't apologize for it. You know, be funny if you want, if it's your personality, be funny like me and say, you know, because I'm going to have squirrel moment. That's it. I may, you know, you're trying to prevent your squirrel brain fart moments. No problem. It's okay, because that helps, puts that relationship a little bit stronger, and they can relate to you so much better. Because chances are they are too, you know. But, you know, bullet points and notes, they keep you organized, they keep you focused on the content. And here's a bonus tip, is use pattern interrupts. I was on Facebook the other day, and I don't know what, I think I did something in my Facebook Live. I've just been doing pattern interrupts for so long that I just, you know, I feel like it's me anyways. I've always kind of done pattern interrupts, but someone commented like, oh, you could tell she's a marketer because she's got pattern interrupts. So I'm like, no, it's because I have ADHD. What? Because I just do that. I just kind of go from A to B to Z or whatever, and then all of a sudden I'm at Z, and all of a sudden I'm back to D, you know, as long as I am following and focusing and being aware of where I'm at. Not like when I first started, and Dave can contest to that, and anybody who watched that live on Wisdom Wednesday that one time, I was all over the place, but I learned to control it, and now I use it, and people love it. I mean, it's a great. So pattern interrupt, if you don't know what that is, just basically, like, you've probably heard me say it already, where, oh, excuse me, I gotta take a drink, or something that just kind of snaps them right out of their comatose state if you're kind of getting monotone. So Facebook Live tip number 5. That kind of rhymes. Do shout outs. When they're on the live, there's no better sound than hearing your own name. How exciting is that? When everybody should probably know Ray Higdon, at least people who are watching here, when he did his Facebook Lives, he gives at least 3 or 4 people a shout out. And it feels great, because I'm like, oh, you said my name, you know, as somebody who's you know, a well-known network marketer in this industry, who says your name, and it's just freaking awesome. On the replay, when people do hashtag replay, how you give them a shout out, like I said earlier, like, hey, if anybody's watching this on the replay, hashtag replay so I can give you a shout out. What you do is you go back to your Facebook Live, and you tag them. You go to their comment where they did hashtag replay, and you tag them and thank them for watching. Hey, thanks for watching. It was so awesome to see you here, right? That's the shout out. You acknowledge every single person, but that's a side note, by the way. When you do Facebook Lives, go back to your Facebook Live and take that 5 to 10 minutes or 15 minutes or 20 minutes, depending on how many comments that you get. Take that time to reply to every single comment if you have the time. If you don't have the time right then and there, go back. Make sure you make that intention to go back to comment on every single that everybody commented on. People will love you for it. So what happens if somebody comes in and you're giving shout outs or whatever, and somebody comes in and you can't pronounce their name? Actually, I would like to ask the panel if that's okay with you. If you guys, I don't have to stop sharing or whatever, but if anybody wants to say, if you have doing a Facebook Live and it's a name that you can't pronounce, what do you do? Anybody?
I would apologize. I'd apologize first and say, I think I have this right. If not, you'll have to let me know in the comment section if I pronounce it right or wrong.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Dave and Jamie, do you want to say anything? Or do you agree, or would you skip over it? Would anybody skip over it?
I agree.
And not say it?
Okay. No, I wouldn't.
Right.
I wouldn't skip over anything.
Right. Dave?
I turn it into a bit of a joke in the sense that I'll say, oh gee, I'm sorry, I probably butchered the name because I can't say words to save my life, and then, you know, just turn it into something. But then of course, you know, you want to find it hard to say the name, so maybe you can actually respond to them.
Yeah.
And say, look, I'm sorry, I just say things wrong, you know, like I'm sorry, but you know, for dodging it.
Okay, no, that's great. I would do the same exact thing. I've seen people, I mean, it depends on, you know, once you get a lot of viewers, there's going to be so many names that are come through, and you can, you know, you get to the point where you can't really get everybody, but you try your best. Throughout your Facebook Live in the beginning, it'd be a good idea when they pop on, you say hi to them throughout your Facebook Live.
That makes one hell of a pattern interrupt.
It does. I mean, I do that all the time. If you guys go on my Facebook and you see all my Facebook Lives, I did this 7 tips on my Facebook Live. And as I was going through tip number 5 here, I was talking about a name I couldn't pronounce. And then this Joel guy comes on and he's like, oh, Joel, good. Thank goodness. Thank you, Joel. I can at least say that name. you know, that's a good pattern interrupt. But yeah, no, you're right, Pop.
You don't want to say, oh, thanks for the comment. You know.
Exactly. Exactly. All right. So Facebook tip number 6 is you give value. This is the most important. Actually, they're all important, but I love this mindset to have, is that you give something to your audience. Give your audience something that they can use in their life or business, depending if you're a life coach or if you're a business coach or something like that, where you offer some kind of tip with the attitude of helping them whether they buy from you or not. That sets you apart from a taker to a giver. And even if nobody buys from you, they just got some kind of either transformation or something that they can use, and it helped them. They're going to come back. They're always going to come back. And then eventually they will buy from you. They will. I promise you, if they get some sort of transformation from you, because it's not what you say, it's how you make them feel, right? That's what they say. They're going to come back. They're going to keep following you. Jamie, actually, for an example, he's had this woman on his email list opening every single email of his. And she hasn't bought anything for a long time. But the thing is that she's probably waiting, what we're speculating, is that she's waiting for the right thing, right? I think that's freaking awesome. Great example, by the way. Tip number 7 is always have a call to action. So what do you want your audience to do? Do you want them to share your video? Do you want them to, opt into a capture page? Do you want them to comment a hashtag, get access to a webinar, and then you can have that conversation in the background? There are some people who just do Facebook Lives. They're not even in business, so this obviously doesn't apply to them. I've seen some Facebook Lives where it's just them at a carnival or something like that. You know, you don't have to do it all the time. Like even if you go to a car show and you just want to pop out a Facebook Live to show cars, fine. But if this is business and you're trying to get leads and you want to get sales, you have to have some kind of call to action. You can't just give them value and not give a call to action. So with that in mind, okay, you have to figure out why are you doing this Facebook Live, and what do you want your audience to do? What's the next step for them? Maybe that's the great question. What's the next step? Okay. I know we got about 5 minutes. Huh?
Yeah, I was going to say, you always want to have a goal in mind. You always want to you don't want to just do a live and for the sake of doing a live and without having a call to action, because you always have to be thinking about everything you're doing inside of marketing. What is your ultimate goal? Where do you want to take this audience? Where do you want to let them go? It's like when people drive, they're not looking at the dashboard. They're not looking at the dashboard or the steering wheel. They're looking at the road ahead and where they want to go. If you don't have some sort of a place where you want to take people, you're not going to get anywhere. That's why it's always good to have a call to action. You've got to see that goal as a call to action to what it is you want for your audience.
Perfect. Thank you. So with that in mind, you just got to ask yourself, okay, what do I want them to do? So if you don't have that next step, I'm going to just go ahead and say that you can get a hold of us, and maybe we can give you some ideas. You know what I mean? Just get the person who invited you here. They can kind of give you that idea to find out what could your next step be if, just kind of brainstorm a little bit. I think that would be helpful, right? Okay, I need to say this. I absolutely have to say this. There's a Facebook Live warning. I hate it when people do this. It's not safe. Never, 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 ever, ever do a drive-in live, ever. Anytime I see someone who has their hand on the wheel, of course, if you're a passenger, that's fine. But if you are driving and you're doing a Facebook Live, I don't care what your fancy mechanism is to keep it on the dashboard and keep both hands on the wheel. Don't do it, especially if you have kids in the car. I will never go on a Facebook Live if they're driving. Never. I don't care if I highly respect that person. If they're a well-known person in that industry, because that has happened, I will not go on I don't want to be responsible for that. I do not want to be responsible for that. Does anybody care to? Yeah, you guys agree, right?
100%.
Thank you. That's awesome. So never do
Jamie ducking.
Jamie's ducking. But yeah, never do a Facebook Live ever while driving, because I will not. I don't care. Like I said, I don't care how well known you are in this industry. If you do a Facebook Live and drive and your hands are on the wheel, I'm not going on it. I'm not going to do it. So I just want to share that. Okay.
So can I do one if I don't put my hands on the wheel?
Yes. Actually, no. Yes, I know. Is that there are some people who have done it because they say, like, I'm gonna kind of call you out here, Jay, because that's when it kind of, like, I know that you didn't have a lot of time at home because you have an hour and a half drive time. I would much prefer that when you did do it, pull over at least for a few minutes or something if you're going to do a Facebook Live. But it's like, I understand that you didn't have enough time, but please, please pull over, you guys. Pull over and do your Facebook Live, okay? I'd much rather have that where the car's not moving, you've got that thing in park, and you're safe, okay? Here's a quick run through, kind of give you a Facebook Live example, kind of a run through of what you have. I forgot to put this in here, but right away you want to have an enticing title. I've seen a title that's like 2 paragraphs long. I don't understand that. You don't have time to read all that. You just want to hop on a Facebook Live and you have no idea what they're going to talk about. I mean, you can't, right? So have a Facebook Live title that's actually something that's like curiosity marketing. Let me just stop sharing real quick. Whoops. Let me just add that in here.
The video jumped.
Okay. Sorry about that. You guys can see that at curiosity marketing title. Sorry about that. You guys can see that, right? Facebook Live example.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So I just wanted to add that is we're almost wrapping up here, by the way. I just want to let you know we're almost at the top of the hour. But Facebook Live example is you do curiosity marketing. You ask a question. You say, if you don't do this one thing, if you don't understand this one concept, or something like that, where they're like, oh, I wonder what that one concept is. Something like that, or even flat out just say, hey, I got 7 Facebook Live tips I wanted to share with you, and hop on or whatever. So do that. Don't put like, hey, join my team, or how I made $50, turned $50 into $3,000 or something. I say bullshit. You don't want to do that. That is not the correct way. You're attracting the wrong people, and you're not doing this long term, and you're just, it's not good. So if you want to build that rapport and build that up and build your audience, so, give them something of a curious title so they can click on it. And then when you're on your Facebook Live, you introduce yourself. You can say your name, you can say your .com, anything like that. Go ahead and do that if you'd like, but introduce yourself. Hey, my name is Katie Stage. You can find my blog at, katiestage.com. Shameless plug there. You're welcome. You're welcome. Anyways, then you go into the intro where you tell them why they're here. or you ask a question. You use a question. Say, hey, how would you like to get more views on your Facebook Live? How would you like to get more leads on your Facebook Live? Or how would you like to have more, like, get more sales in your Facebook Live? Like, how can you do that, right? You can ask them that question. It gets them really curious. Like I said before, there might be some people who haven't hopped on yet, but as you get into the content, people are going to want to watch. They're gonna probably want to watch the replay anyways, because it's really good stuff, and you're giving away good value. Then you go through the content, give the value, and then the call to action. And remember to use hashtags. That's also a call to action, whether to have them share or whether, you know, something. The call to action is very important because you don't want it to be just dead air at the end and not have anybody do anything. You want to give them something to do, right? So again, as a reminder, there's a free bonus gift on the side where it gets more in-depth. There's another 2-hour masterclass. I just shouldn't say another because hopefully this will probably be under 2 hours. We're almost done. But there's another masterclass and a PDF download for, I think the best part is the 5-part live video script. That's awesome. And then some other cool stuff. And also, I have your call to action. Okay. Get that free bonus gift and click on the Get Started Now button for the world's #1 trusted solution since 2008 to help you attract fresh leads daily, get sales and signups, and grow your business by leveraging the power of the internet. No matter what social media platform is your favorite, you pick it, we got it. Okay. And you can get leads, you can get sales. Am I promising that? No. Am I promising it if you go through the steps and you offer good value and you have the intention of having the attitude of giving something whether they buy from not? I would love to put a guarantee on that. Honestly, that's what people are doing in this industry. That's how you get ahead of the game, is to build that that trust factor in this industry and give, and don't take. So yeah, how'd you like that?
That was awesome. That was great.
Thanks.
And you know, I mean, Katie, on that note about the, you know, guaranteeing stuff, you know, obviously we can't guarantee anything regarding this, but what we can say is this: you know, if you go and pick apples and put them in a basket, if you go ahead and actually find value picking apples and put them in a basket, the one thing you can guarantee is that you can actually offer value to other people. But you can't offer value to other people if you don't have any apples to give. And so the one thing we can guarantee is this: that if you follow training and if you educate yourself on your passions and what you love, the more you start filling your basket up with goodies, the more you can give other people. And the more value you give other people, that's when you know that people will want to buy things from you, is when you actually have something of value to offer. And we give this away free. That's why we give it to you away free, because we understand the value of this. So, Katie, I just want to say thank you so much for that training. That was amazing. And, you know, I am kind of, it's a bittersweet moment for me because Facebook Live is a bit of a struggle. I am still trying and making ways to make that happen. So hopefully I'll be doing that very soon, because I'd love to share this information with people on a Facebook Live. But with that being said, we've gone over the hour. So I just want to ask Pops if he wants anything to say before we end.
Well, just have a great week, everybody, and see you next week. Please show up for more awesome value and try that trial. Click this Get Started Now button and see what we're all about. If you're new to this, fill your basket, man. Click the button. Start putting apples in there. Take care.
Jamie, you want to say anything?
Yeah, I want to thank everybody that was in the comments commenting, and, you know, same as Pop said, you know, nothing happens if you don't get started, you know, and we have a big community that will help you along the way. So have a good weekend, or a good week, everybody.
Awesome. So we will see you same time next week. And we've got there are a ton of hangouts that are happening, but I'm just going to go over a few. Make sure you get on to Wisdom Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Make sure you get on Jamie's hangout and also Pops and Katie. Their hangout is tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern, along with Ricky at 8 p.m. Eastern. And then we have Maria at, is it 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time? That's right. Okay, I said them all. Awesome. And if you want to get on our workshop where we have this amazing community where you can actually see us face to face, get started now, get hold of us, and we'll show you how you can actually be a part of that. You have an amazing, amazing week, and we will see you next week. Cheers. Bye-bye.